Hey, this week's video, we're going to do a cooking compilation on our wood-burning cook stove.
We hope you enjoy it.
Well, first things first, I got to light the wood stove. So in our house, we have two wood stoves. Actually, if you saw our video on our wood stoves in our home, we have two videos, a part 1 and a part 2. You might want to check those out if you're interested in wood stoves. So we're going to let that stove heat up. It's going to take at least an hour. It might take even a little longer. Basically, by the time we get the bread together and it's rising, it'll be good and hot. So we just need to check the fire and keep it going at this point. Hey, if you like this video, please share it with your friends.
Please hit like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell if you'd like to receive notifications next time we upload another video. And check out the links in the description below. It does support us, it does support the channel, and does enable us to continue to make this content.
We're going to mix the yeast, water, and sugar and let it dissolve for 10 minutes.
And then we're gonna do that in this bowl, and we're gonna set it somewhere while we do other stuff. So we're using 4.5 teaspoons, or is that tablespoons?
Teaspoons.
Teaspoons. 4.5 teaspoons of yeast. A scoop of sugar. What is a scoop?
1/3 of a cup.
1/3 of a cup of sugar. And 2.5 cups of warm water. It's not hot, it's just warm, like room temperature, right?
Yes.
And then we gotta mix this up or what?
Yeah, you can mix it.
Kind of like panning for gold. Now you just stir it a little bit, shake it around, whatever, and we'll just set it aside. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Okay, next up we have a stick of butter. 1 whole stick equals a 1/2 cup. So that's 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter. A teaspoon of salt. A tablespoon of salt. 7 cups of flour. That's a regular flour, not a self-rising flour because we are adding yeast. Should make 2 loaves, roll out, let rise an hour, and then bake at 400 degrees for 20 minutes.
This is all-purpose flour.
All-purpose flour. 1 tablespoon of the salt. I guess we put that in there and mix it up. Mix it up with my measuring spoon. You want to get the butter ready, honey? All right, we got our softened butter in there. Now we're going to add the whatever it is, yeast and sugar mixture, whatever you want to call it. Scrape all the goodies. So we're basically mixed up and at a place where we're kind of done for now, right? We just let it rise.
Yeah.
So we cover this and stick it in a warm place.
We like to just set it near the stovepipe.
Now we need like, what, an hour?
Yes.
Okay. It's about doubled in size. So sometimes we'll let it sit overnight actually, and then it gets more like a sourdough. Usually that's for pizza, but now we need flour down, right?
Yeah, just like...
Just kind of put it everywhere.
Not everywhere.
I'm sorry. All right, so we pop that out right there.
Yes.
While you get started on that, I'm gonna check that oven.
Okay.
So our oven is heated up. It's actually at like 425. When you open the door on a wood-fired oven, you let out a lot of heat, and it takes a while to recoup that heat. So I'm not gonna open it right now. When we put the bread in, we're gonna let a lot of that heat out, and it'll probably be closer to 400 when we do shut it. So right now we're just gonna knead the bread. Knead the dough. Knead the dough. It's not bread yet, it's dough. There you go. Oh, that does look good. So you turn your bottom in like that, set it down. You cut into it a little bit because as it cooks, it kind of rises and does stuff. It just needs to stick in the oven.
We just need to bake that for 20 minutes.
Got nothing to do but wait. We can clean up a little bit. Oh, come on. Ah. Well, that was fun. That's one thing that you could do with that extra flour. Don't you put no more on me. Looks good to me. They're pretty hot. They're a little bit hot to be cutting into already, but I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah, it's kind of nice to cut into these. I love hot bread, fresh out of the oven. It's good. You guys want some?
Yes. Let's put some homemade jelly on it.
Oh yeah, we did make some homemade jelly. Home canned homemade jelly with our grapes that we grew right here on our homestead. We made a video about that. You might want to check that out. Anyway, let's get some of that on here. Oh yeah. So we're gonna try some of this jelly on here. The bread is not, it's not doughy actually. At first I thought it was doughy. It's just really super moist, and I would say it's done. It's just very, very moist, and we're cutting into it when it's fresh out of the oven. We should have let it rest, but we didn't. So we'll get some of this jelly on here. This is the best part of the bread. If you don't like the end, you don't know what you're missing.
It's crispy.
Homemade bread, the end I think is probably the best. That's excellent. This past year we had a very interesting surprise. We did not plant any pumpkins or squash, yet out of our compost pile grew some vines, just a couple of them, and from those vines we have nice little pie pumpkins, which we usually grow pie pumpkins, and we have butternut squash, and those came up, and these came from those vines. And we're going to store them over winter, and as we're getting into winter, some of them are starting to look like they could be used up. And so what we've decided to do is to cut them all up, and we're going to bake them in the oven, and we're going to make pumpkin pie filling. Now you can mix butternut squash with pumpkin, that's fine. Yeah, so we're going to cut them, we're going to bake them in the wood stove, and we're going to mix them all together in the end. And yeah, so let's get started. Well, they're all washed up, so from here we just need to cut them in half. And we scrape out the seeds, and then we'll put them in the oven and bake them for how long?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes at 400 degrees, right? 450?
450.
450 for 45 minutes. Just put them on a cookie sheet, baking tray, whatever you want to call it, and basically just set them on there.
Oh, you gotta oil it. You gotta put it on.
You gotta oil it?
Yeah, just a little on there so it doesn't stick.
Okay, we do have to put a little oil on the cookie sheet.
That's all that fits in this oven.
Yeah, that's all that fits in there. It's a very small oven and a wood stove, and so we're going to employ our regular electric oven as well, and we can get a whole lot more in there. Probably actually all the rest of it can go in the regular oven. Here we are, I took them out of the oven. This side is the ones that were in the wood stove. These are the ones that were in the electric oven. There's another tray over there, but these are a good comparison. These were in the wood stove. And these were in the electric oven. The ones in the wood stove look a little bit drier. The texture is going to be basically the same. There's not a lot of difference between the two.
The wood stove ones will feel a little bit drier in the texture. You have to pay attention to your wood stove more to maintain the heat properly.
Yep.
We just need to let them cool, and then we'll scrape all the goodies out of it and into a bowl.
They're very mushy at this point, so it's very easy to do. You just get a spoon and scrape it out right down to the skin. Trying not to rip the skin and get pieces of skin in our mix here. Okay, so we got all our pumpkin and squash out, and we were putting it in a bowl. It's a 7.5 quart bowl, and that actually wasn't big enough, so we got rid of that and we started putting it in this pot. We weighed the pot, and we didn't weigh the pot empty. So the pot with everything in it is 19 point something pounds. We're gonna say there's roughly 18 pounds of pumpkin and squash together here. So what do we do with it now?
We're gonna put it in the food processor and chop it up into a finer mix.
All right. All right, you probably did see us put a little bit of water in there while we were putting it in this food processor. So the plan is we're gonna keep running it through the food processor until we get it all done and back in our bowl and pot, you know, whatever we need. We'll probably have to put it back in here. And we'll mix it up a little bit. And we'll take out what we need for today's recipe to make the pie for today, and the rest is gonna go in the freezer. All right. For today's recipe, we need 2 cups, is that right?
Okay.
So, looks like if I fill this thing, this is 2 cups to the top of this thing. You want 2 of these? Let's see, 2 of these.
That's good too.
There's 2 cups. Since your hands are already in it. All right, we are finally ready to make this pie. So this is a crustless pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be gluten-free. And I don't know where the recipe came from. We're gonna tell you how we're making it as it goes. We're gonna double the recipe because we have a larger family. So I'll tell you what the regular recipe says as we go, and then we'll just be doubling that for us. 2 cups of pumpkin puree.
2 teaspoons cinnamon.
Pumpkin spice, 1 teaspoon.
1 cup of milk. 1/3 cup flour.
You ready for that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we need a 1/2 cup of sugar. Are we doing it right? Did I say that? 2 teaspoons baking powder. Are we not supposed to do it like this?
Well, normally you mix your wet ingredients first and then you mix your dry ingredients, but it should turn out as long as you got it like good and incorporated.
Well, we should have had you show up earlier.
Well, I was at the store.
1/2 teaspoon of salt.
So 1 egg for the recipe, and we're gonna have 2 because we're doubling it. So 1 egg. We finally found our vanilla.
2.5 teaspoons.
2.5 teaspoons. We're doubling it.
1, 2,
18, 19, 4, 3.
1 million.
Is it time for the power tools yet?
This is my power tool.
Oh. So we were supposed to do our dry ingredients first, but we just started throwing it together, and I'm glad that Denise is here to show us how to do it right. So it's supposed to cook at 400 degrees for 35 minutes.
So you just put a little bit of oil in. Put it all around on your pie dish, up the sides.
Because this is a crustless pie, we need to keep the filling from sticking. This is a little bit of flour, gluten-free flour, and you just, put it on the oil and
Yeah, you just sprinkle it around.
kind of sprinkle it all over the place. Try to get it up the sides and around the bottom. right, is it done?
It's done.
Pretty good. How about the other one? Now we're supposed to let them cool and then let them set for a couple hours. All right, it's been a couple hours, about 3 hours since we took this out of the oven. We haven't made this recipe before, but we have made crustless pie with a different recipe previously, and yeah, we always liked it. Thought it did pretty well. See how this one is. Oh yeah, you know, you gotta have Cool Whip if you're gonna have pie, you know. All right, let's give this a try, see how it tastes. It's good. I like the pie. It's pretty good. You want to try some? With very little whipped cream on it.
That's good.
You want to try some? Well, we hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos every week, every Friday morning. And if you'd like to receive notifications when we do upload the next video, hit that notification bell. And check out our channel. We have several videos just like this one or very similar. We do various things including hiking, biking, boating, fishing, builds of various kinds, mostly outdoor activities. Some homesteading is thrown in there as well. This channel is for the experience. We do these things for the experience of doing them and to show others how you can do it too. We try to be fun and entertaining while being educational all at the same time. Sometimes these experiences are done for the first time, and other times they're things that we do all the time. Sometimes we do things just for the fun of doing it. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.